Hey everyone, I'm Larry Walsh,
And I'm Maddie Frank.
and this is Channelnomics in the Margins. And typically we're here talking about channel trends and channel issues. But today we're taking a little bit of a detour and we're going to talk about Taylor Swift. And to help me with this exploration is our resident expert on millennial issues here at Channelnomics, Maddie Frank. What makes you an expert on millennial issues?
I am a millennial.
It's good enough for me. Now, why are we talking about Taylor Swift? Well, because Taylor Swift is more than just a pop icon and a musician. She is a business model now. Many businesses are and individuals are rewriting their business plans and their business strategies based on her success, how she got to where she is today. So we thought that it would be interesting to take a look at some lessons that the channel could take away from Taylor Swift. So, Maddie, what can we learn from Taylor Swift?
What can we not learn from Taylor Swift? First and foremost, don't be afraid to try something new.
Okay.
Since Taylor popped up on the country scene 2 decades ago, she has continuously reinvented herself. She started off as a pure country artist, and today she is the biggest pop icon in the world. She has done collaborations with hip hop artists, alternative rock artists. She's been on TV, movies. She started her own movie production company this year. She is continuously trying something new. Not everything works out, but she's always continuing to try some new things.
So the lesson here is push boundaries.
Yes.
All right. Well, what else does she do?
One other big thing that she did this year was she really rewarded her players. Everybody knows that the Eras Tour was the biggest tour in music this year. And in the middle of it, she gave her entire crew each $100,000 bonuses. And what that does is it keeps her crew loyal to her, which is important because they're important for her safety and her well-being on tour, keeps her dancers on board. And it also, most importantly, created some great PR for her.
Now, typically in the channel, we talk about incentives and rewards, but what you're really talking about is making sure people feel appreciated.
Yes.
No, that's good. Whether you're talking about your internal teams and, the channel team, or you're talking about your partners, a good lesson to have. Now, Taylor's a collaborator and she does do partnerships. So what does she do differently than what we typically think of?
She is pretty selective with her partnerships. She is always open to new possibilities with them, though. For example, I mentioned she has collaborated with hip hop artists. So she has worked with Kendrick Lamar, who is one of the best rappers of today. She has also worked with Hayley Williams of Paramore. She has worked with Ice Spice, who is huge with the Gen Z market today. And all of these just really expand her reach and get her name out there to new people that wouldn't normally be a big T Swift fan.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that these are all real people that you're mentioning. No idea who she's talking about. But you also mentioned about being selective. There are people that she won't partner with.
Absolutely. You will never see her partner with Kanye West or any of the Kardashians after their rocky history, if you will.
I was going to say, he said some nice things about her at the Grammys a few years ago. Moving on. She's also a marketing machine. What is she doing out there in terms of marketing?
The number one thing that she is doing in terms of marketing is she is keeping herself exposed. She is doing the path walks. When her and Travis Kelce were trying to keep their relationship a secret, they were still spotted by the paparazzi out and about. She keeps her name circulating in those headlines, and herself, you see her picture all over the internet in every different outlet.
So you mean that she's not an NFL football fan, that she's just doing this for marketing?
No, she's doing this for Travis, so her soulmate.
But this also shows that you have to actually make the effort. You have to put yourself out there in order for people to recognize your brand and recognize your value proposition. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. What do her fans think about her? Or what does she think about the fans?
She makes her fans her number one priority, just like tech vendors should make their end customer their priority. She is always willing to do meet and greets with fans. She connects with them on social media. She does make a wish. She gives her fans an amazing concert experience that is nearly unparalleled.
And I think that that's something that we all have to keep in mind is that customer experience is paramount. An increasing number of customers and buyers are feeling disenfranchised by their vendors and by their suppliers because of the diminishing quality, diminishing service levels, and they may get the sale today, but they may not keep it tomorrow. And it sounds like Taylor Swift is intent on keeping her fan base and her customers happy. Now, Maddie, we need to bring up this other point though about the rules. Yet the rules at one point were against Taylor Swift, were they not?
Yes, in I believe it was 2023, Scooter Braun bought her entire catalog of music. So what did she do? Instead of saying, okay, well, I'm going to lose out on all of that revenue, she re-recorded all of her music, and now her fans are downloading all of the new albums. She's putting out bonus tracks with them to encourage the sales of those new records. She didn't like where things were headed. She just changed the rules.
And I think that that's also an important consideration for every business is that, yes, there are rules out there that you have to live by. There's no change in government regulations easily, but don't fall into the trap. I think this is the thing that Taylor Swift actually has done, and I mean this sincerely, is that she didn't just give up. She found a way around what was supposed to be the constraining rules of the music industry to her advantage. And this is something that's available to every business out there, is that there is a way around. You find yourself at a dead end, there's always a solution. There's always a new way of doing something. There's a way of even using the rules to leverage against those that are trying to hold you back. So I think that is really one of the big important lessons here. There's one last big thing that she teaches everyone, is there not?
Yes, there is. If things aren't going well, go ahead and shake it off.
Yeah, I mean, just let it roll off of you, right?
Yes.
Man, you should make a song about that. I do. I guess she had. So this is the true lesson here, though, is that you just have to move on. Mistakes are going to happen. Failure is always inevitable. You learn from mistakes and move on, right? And I think, and I look, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I know of her, but I can tell you, just looking at her career from afar, she does a tremendous job of moving on from mistakes.
That she does.
Yeah. Maddie, thanks for joining us. And everyone, thanks for joining us again, for letting us have a little bit of fun with this. If you like what we're doing here in the margins, please hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends about us. And also, please come back and check out the Channelnomics CIQ program, which Maddie runs. It's our tremendous on-demand consulting services, analyst services, and access to all of our resources. And if you want more information about it, please reach out to Maddie. She'll tell you all about it. Until next time, I'm Larry Walsh.
I'm Maddie Frank.